Good afternoon, or evening, or morning, depending on when you're watching this. For me, it's afternoon. So I have taken out these two amps, SAX and 25.4, and the SAE 50.4. These are both Class AB amps, my tweeter amps. Now I've got to remove the 6000D. In order to do that, it's already unhooked for the most part, this amp here. But I got some wires I gotta have to tape up so they don't short out. And yeah, and that's what my plan is, to get that sub box out. Pardon me. Because it's time to start redoing everything. I want to rebuild the box. Again, I'm not sure if I want to just continue to have what I'm having. I really want to upgrade, but it is very pricey. And the funds that I currently have won't cover what I want. Most people know how that is. But I will do what I came here to do, and that is to show you along my path, regardless what it is. So, open this tripod up. I want to get this battery unhooked first. This battery does operate my vehicle. Like I've said before, it's the only battery that's in the vehicle. If you can just give me a moment while I take this into the garage, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so now I'm going in the vehicle and start disassembling things. Now I removed the bottom plate of my amp, and I made a push and pull system for fans, and that's what I got hooked up to the SMD temperature meter. So I've got set about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and of course it ramps up in stages. I'm not too sure on how fast or whatnot, but anyway, that's what I got it hooked up to. And since I'm not gonna no longer have it in here, I don't want to short out those wires, and I'm not planning on removing my meters either. So they're there, they're gonna stay there, and that's what I'm gonna do. Hopefully you guys can see all this. Now, in order to get the sound bar off, I'll have to remove these speakers here and here. Interesting. Anyway, guess I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's how I have it attached to the speaker box here. Probably grab some wire snippers so I can cut these wire ties. No biggie. And I do apologize for long videos. You can fast forward, whatever you want to do, until I actually start figuring out how to edit. This is the break you're gonna get. So unfortunately, I don't have control over that until I learn how to do it. But when I do, be better videos. But you can see how I attach certain things, what I do. If it's something you want to do in your future build or whatever. This is interesting. There's oh, I know what it is. Never mind. I used a flexible glue and sprayed it on, or not glue, a black paint, and sprayed it on these speakers before I installed them, because some of them were, I bought them new, but two of them were in a vehicle, so they kind of had wear on it from the sun, so they're faded a little. Didn't mess with the operation. I mean, I did it to every single speaker here, but it looks like this one seen a little bit more movement than the rest. No big deal. I'm not sure if I'm going to reuse these or not. They served the purpose for at the time. I mean, they sound good. The full range 2.75-inch speakers. But they're mainly designed for certain Chryslers have these speakers in them, in the factory part of it. Alright. There's that. Alright, so let's unplug the amp here. This is the part. Okay. So like I said, this is my SCV 6000D. Damn good amp. The box I prior had it on, I kind of subjected it to vibration damage, and I shorted some of the power supply FETs, which was nuts. I was beating it hard. I was giving a demo. And next thing you know, smoke's rolling out of the amp. But it was still playing, which just shows you how resilient these amps are. I probably took about a third of the FETs out. They shorted out, and I ended up having to go through and replacing all the 3205s in here. I think there's 32 of them. 32 or 34. I have to check. And there's 16 output FETs. So I ended up replacing them all, replacing all the output FETs, gate resistors, pull down resistors are fine, drivers, had to do all that, but not bad. I put pretty much the same parts in it, but there's different brands out there. But that's when I built this box here. I mean, it's hard to find a place to mount your amplifiers without mounting them straight to a box, especially this size. I mean, those full bridge amps, they're quite small. I mean, a 6,000 amp, that's full bridge is probably like this big, you know. It's just a completely different circuit design, the way it's set up. It's 2 amps inside of it, or it's basically bridged together. And then they use higher output FETs, higher power supply FETs that can handle higher currents, higher rail caps. But like I said, on those amplifiers, they are ran very close to tolerances if you're running the amp to its max. It's basically, if the rail caps are 200 volts, you're probably seeing 198 volts on those rail caps. And then when you start clipping it, that's where you have the problem. Now you're trying to push more power through it, that more than what the parts can handle, and they have a certain percentage or tolerance to them. But your amp, your life, your money, you do what you want. You know, take the information as I give it. But that's why they suggest you not to run those amps below recommended ohms. Dangerous, very dangerous. Well, I say dangerous, but dangerous to your pocket. You can do it. Any amp can pretty much run, you know, at certain ohm loads, but you got to think about what an ohm load is. When you start getting down below 1 ohm, your amp is seeing a short circuit across its output. That's the issue. And some amps, depending on what the dampening factor is, it won't be able to handle a short circuit for very long like that. Then it'll shut it off, which is what it's supposed to do, but then it could blow it up. So I got my sensor here for my temperature on the back of the amplifier, just kind of taped there. So I'm going to untape it. It's off. I should have done what I wanted to from the get was extend the wire, resolder new wire to it, just move the sensor longer, because my wire's quite short from the front. They don't give you enough, in my opinion. But anyway, I'll go back to the story. When I fried this amp, I knew I had to come up with a different design for the box. Here we are. Because because of the room I have here. I don't have a wall, so I wanted to make it where I could still mount it to the box. So, 2x4s. And this is like I said, this is an L shape basically, and amp mounts here on rubber feet. So I'm doing that for, it strengthens it basically. So, as well as I got fiberglass inside here, not much, but there is some in there. Not like how the new one I want to build will be. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tape these wires up here. These will still be here. Probably, like I said, if I should go grab my wire snips and just go ahead and cut them flush so I don't have to worry about it whatsoever. Shorten out. That's all I need. That thing's almost 120 bucks, give or take. After all the wires, the money you spend on making a nice bracket and all that, you don't want to mess it up. Alright, well that's that. Let me move this RCA. Like I said before, I'm using Sundown Audio RCA wires, which I had for my other vehicle. Now they're too long for this one, but... And those are the rubber pads I was talking about. Just little rubber. I got this kind of taped up so I don't tear the metal up on it. And I would have little rubber pieces here as well for the screws. There you go. So that screw will go down through there. That's metal, and that's rubber right there. So I try to reduce as much vibration as I could. I'll set you up right here. That's my garage. There's the port. But I'm gonna take this amp in, and then I'll bring you into the garage with me here in a minute. Pardon me, it takes me a little long. I'm trying to do this without scratching any of my amps or my speakers or messing anything up. Now these are the fans I was talking about. 2 of them will push air in, 2 will pull out. The only problem about this, there's a lot of space in here taken basically. But anyway, those two fans, there's 4 there, so 2 push air in, 2 pull the air out. I didn't know if you could hear me, but the components inside this amp versus where the back of the plate is, not a very much room. I mean, I could literally see the inductors right behind the fan here. So for the air to move as good as it should be a little bit more space, basically. It does help. It didn't get over 130 degrees Celsius on a summer day, and I'm talking about playing it pretty hard, you know. I wouldn't say necessarily clipping it the whole time, because I don't like doing that, but playing it, you know, to probably 0.5% distortion. So the rails were being pushed kind of hard on it, but not as brutal as the amp literally could take. Alright, soundboard. Like I said, I got an iPhone 13. I'm going to try to record with that because the video and audio is much better than this piece of junk that I currently have in my hand. However, this thing's much easier to upload straight to YouTube. I don't have to really worry about editing anything. Again, my son's supposed to help teach me to do that. It's like teaching an old dog new tricks. I don't know about you, but this old dog, it's harder for me to learn certain things, but not terrible. I mean, I can definitely learn it. Just take me a little time. Like I said, I'm really doing this as a I don't know, to help people. An auto thing for myself, I suppose. And I try to answer questions if I can. Something for my kids to see when I'm gone and dead, my grandkids. You know, there's grandfather right there, or granddad, or whatnot. That's what his hobby was. Anyway, so, like in my previous video, I got this. It was my fuse block, and I'm gonna have to remove that in order to get this box out, because I'm still gonna have to use it. Man, I'm dreading taking this out. This thing is super heavy. But it's got to be done. So I got a lot of work to do. Back in the day, I had a thing for Kicker car audio, because I had one of their old school amps, and it was given to me. It was actually blown, and that's where I started to learn how to figure out what's wrong with car amps. You almost couldn't find anything on the web back then about stuff like that. Not like nowadays. But of course, you know, I learned best I could. I learned about that particular amp, and that amp sounded great. So that's all I ran for a long time was Kicker. And then I heard about Sundown. And I wanted some speakers that could really pound. I just don't think Kicker, I mean, they have good subs, but their amps are good. They just never went down to 2 ohm back in the day. Now they do have one that goes, 1 ohm, won't go below 1 ohm, or 2 ohm. But anyway, so I decided something new. I tried Kicker, and, Sundown Audio. So I bought an original X, one of the original ones. This is back when they were doing ZV4s. And I had it on that old school Kicker. Man, did it sound great. It sounded real good. So I decided to get another one. and then I wanted something bigger. So I ended up giving, or selling my brother those 12s and the amp. And then I got a new kicker amp. Man, it's been so long though. It's their new silver amp. Now they have a black version of it. It's a 2400 by 1, but it's only stable down to 2 ohms. Well, then I got me the ZB515, and I wanted a ZB4, but like they were discontinued, and they came out with the ZB5. But I wanted an 8-layer voice coil. Anyway, long story short, I played that for a long time and I loved it. Well, I decided to get a sundown amp to match it all up. So I went into my local dealer and wanted the 4000 SCV 4K. Well, he got on the phone with Sundown right in front of me, and they were out of stock. But they were willing to sell me a SCV 6K, brand new. I think I paid, I want to say $1,100. I got the receipt in the box, so I have to go pull that up and show you. And this has been years ago, like 2017, 16 maybe. Wow, a long while ago. So I bought one of those, and then I bought another ZB515. And I ended up getting both ZB515s for $6 each, and then I'm pretty sure I've only paid like $1,100 for that amp. But I ended up going through him. Only one amp I did not get through that particular dealer, and it was my Sundown Audio SAX 125.4. I got that from JP, Down for Sound. It was like pretty much an impulse buy, because originally I bought this amp, and this is why I will argue with people about Class D circuitry. Give me one moment, please. But I'll argue about Class D, how it sounds as a 4-channel amp. So I end up getting this amp. Sundown Audio SAX 200.4. When I ordered this amp from my dealer, I thought it was going to be the Class AB, because that's what I wanted. Because I ordered this, the smaller Class AB, this 4-channel here, the SAE 50.4. I think because I was running the kicker at the time, so I ordered that one after I got my other 15 and then my big amp. And boy, was I disappointed. It got loud, but the quality of sound wasn't there. As well as, I had an issue with it. I had to send it back. Had no output. It was probably a few months in owning it. It just wouldn't output. So, but anyway, I'll have to get my oldest son to help me drag this out of here. So I'll probably end up posting this video. It's 23 minutes long already. I don't know who in the hell's going to watch 23 minutes of it. But like I said, one reason why I didn't bother fixing this amp as well is because it was still under warranty. If it's still under warranty, I might as well send it back, because usually they'll send you a new one. My 6K was not under warranty, so that's why I had to end up fixing it myself. But thank you for watching. I'm gonna get this, as soon as I get this box out, I'll repost another video about getting the sucker out. Probably recording my son and I trying to get this sucker out. But anyway, it's extremely heavy. If anybody's dealt with those ZB5s, they know. But you guys have a good day.